Alright everyone, Facebook is now literally melting down MySpace mode. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually kills the platform, and it couldn't happen to a better platform to die off. Facebook is the gargantuan evil, piece of shit of the millennial generation. There's so much material there. Here's what I find funny. I'll explain first what actually happened, in a nutshell. A company that was actually tied to the Trump campaign, Cambridge Analytica, was gathering data on Facebook users. Now, they did this according to the TOS of Facebook. It was allowed. Now, this should be the part that concerns you. Private data firms that can be tied to a political group can harvest data on Facebook if they pay Zuckerberg money. That should probably bother you, but a lot of people are just fixated on the fact that then they turned around, and this is why they got kicked off Facebook. They then turned around and gave that data to other firms. And they weren't supposed to do that. Within Facebook's TOS, I can establish a data harvesting company. So, yeah, I want to harvest data for the CIA, or I want to harvest data for Clinton, or I want to harvest data for Jill Stein. She wants to send it to Russians for $1 a profile. And, it's bullshit, but, I can set up a company, pay Zuckerberg some money, and I can get all sorts of personal info collated. Now, it's not like really deep personal info. It's basically name, location, here's some private, some public posts and stuff. But it does allow you to build psychological profiles of people for ad purposes is primarily why. It's, again, never boil it down to anything other than the almighty dollar. It's always going to be about money. Now, Facebook is a data mining program for the US government, as well as probably for every other government. You think that Zuckerberg's going to turn down Russia if they offer him 1 million rubles to get some info on dissidents? Of course they're going to give him fucking info. Of course, your personal data's on government servers if you've used Facebook. And there's a reason why people stopped posting so much. They started being a little more wary. Facebook not only became boring, but it also became unsafe. It's not a safe repository for your info. This particular incident showcases that completely. A company was already harvesting people's personal data, which is like, I know Zuckerberg can't make ends meet with ad revenue because Facebook is declining in usage. Facebook at this point has become little more than a messaging app. That's all Facebook is. You might as well eliminate the concept of profiles and just have like you have an account hooked to an email. Here's a picture, and then you can use Facebook Messenger. Your name and a picture, and that's all they should really need. That's all the average person does on there. Maybe some people use Facebook video. I don't know why when there's YouTube. I would much rather use a smaller alt text site like BitChute or Steemit or something. It'd be 10 times better than plopping that bullshit on Facebook. It's like I've had a Facebook page for my work, an official fan page, for considerably longer than I've had most of my alt tech presences. And yet, despite the fact that I collate the same posts to all of these things, I've got about as many people on my Minds page, which is many months newer than I do on Facebook. Now, keep in mind, Minds, a smaller platform, I've had it less time, and yet I've got about as many people following me. That's because it's fewer people on Facebook. There are days when when usage on my fan page is declining on Facebook. People are just leaving the platform. I wouldn't have a Facebook page at all if it weren't for the fact that I administer a fan page. Because I happen to want the official presence to be under my control and not under somebody else's. I want to be the one controlling that particular page that has to do with my work. But there's no other reason. What else do I do? Occasionally I shitpost, but at this point it's way more fun to do that on other platforms. It's way quicker and easier to do it on Twitter. It's way easier to do it on Gab, on Minds, all these other sites. If I want to have a political debate or see news, which is the only other purposes that Facebook is used for, I'm not going to use Facebook for that. What's the fucking point? By the way, to all these alt tech sites, you should preemptively ban groups like Salon and Being Liberal from ever even operating on your sites. Keep it strictly civilian. Kick off any organizations that are tied in with a large corporation. Mom and pop store, let them have a page. Big corporation, you should block them. That way we can really weaken these people. We'd have actual capitalism back if we go down that route. Be great. BitChute should never let Jared Holt have an account there. It'd be funny. Oh, it'd be so great. See them censored for a change. People from the propagandist arm of the corporate media. Zuckerberg tries to sign up for Minds.com. No, says Bill Ottman, I'm afraid you might try to dig into our source code even more and try to harvest data on people. You might try to defraud people on our site. But Zuckerberg's crazy. He fumbled massively because he comes out, acts like it's no big deal that 50 million users had their data handed off to third parties that weren't supposed to have their data. Like the TOS of Facebook doesn't allow Facebook to operate in that capacity, and the companies that are bound to Facebook under those TOS aren't supposed to do it either. Zuckerberg and his staff give a guarantor to people, hey, that's not going to happen. You know, our terms of these companies we work with, we're kind of picky about it. They can gather data, publicly available data to a limited degree, but they can't give it to anyone else. There's only certain purposes they can use it for. Oops, yeah, I guess that ship sailed, didn't it, Mark? And Zuckerberg, I hear that all of his photos are staged and he's actually only 5'7", so that's pretty funny too. No offense to dudes that are on the short side, but Zuckerberg's also disproportionate. Like, he's got a weirdly shaped body. Like, when they built him at the Institute factory, you know, late Gen 2 synth, you know, he kind of is passable for a human being, but, you know, not completely. He's sort of like Nick Valentine's evil cousin, I guess. When they were created, they didn't quite get it right. The calibration of that machine was a little bit off. Like, you know, his arms are a little bit malformed. His legs are a little too short for his body, and his chest is a little bit too long, and his face, well, you know, I'm not even going to bother getting into that. But Zuckerberg's crazy. He's a pawn, he's a stooge, and that's the sort of person he is. It's good to see his platform dying. Why do you think, you know, Zuckerberg's planning to dump, like, what, 13 million in Facebook stock this year? Why do you think he's doing that? Months and months ago, I said Facebook is on the decline. He's going to keep dumping stock. He's going to keep withdrawing from, you know, really giving a damn about his own company. He's got other things that are going on that make him money now. Facebook's not one of them. Yeah, honestly, it doesn't make him any money anymore. There's no more money in it. He's already exploited all the data gathering he can. He's already sold your data to as many governments as possible. He's already cheated and fucked with people as much as possible and censored his site into oblivion, leading people to alt tech. And when Facebook collapses, by the way, anyone who vaguely likes the concept of having a social profile, I'll use Minds. Minds.com, it's as simple as that. It's just like with Twitter. When it has problems, use gab.ai. YouTube has problems. Why do you think I upload everything also to BitChute and Steam it? Like, I finished my backup last night. I'm now uploading all new videos to my DTube page through Steam it as well. No reason not to. These sites are growing way faster. And so Facebook's dying off. These sites are growing. I'm going to go where the energy is. I'm not going to stay on a site that's, you know, completely dying. If Facebook continues, you know, if in the next week 10 million people stop using the platform, which is probably how many actual people use a fucking platform, why would I want to use it? At that point, it's just like, hey, do I really need the fan page here? Do I really need any presence on Facebook? I'm not so sure that I do. I can communicate with people in other, I use YouTube Messenger is better. You know, messaging people on YouTube's better at this point. It's more stable than Facebook. Facebook crashes my browser sometimes. That's been a problem for years on anything that's a derivative of Mozilla. Yeah, Facebook's crazy. So I'm glad that they're dying out. The faster, the better. By the way, people should spurn any Zuckerberg-related site. I think, isn't it Instagram or some crazy shit that they run to? It's like, today on sites I'm never going to sign up for. It's just not going to happen, dude. If I want to post, I can post pictures on Minds. I can post them on my blog. I have a WordPress. I can make a WordPress for photography. Why the hell would I want to use your site? Why the fuck would I want to do that? It's crazy. I don't even have full creative control over my content at that point. Like on these other sites, you know, no one's going to try to censor me on anything that Zuckerberg has dealings with. Oh, trust me, it's going to be censored. You can't have a breastfeeding photo on Facebook. You know, they had some survey that was going out that was about like sort of the NAMBLA stuff, I believe. And there was a scandal about that too, but it sort of got covered up by the media. Now, they have this sort of stuff. People care all of a sudden. The only reason they even care is because it was a Trump-tied organization. If it had been one gathering data for Clinton, they probably wouldn't have even put out a press, so they just would have very quietly asked him to stop. Now, that's a big problem. The other part is the partisan nature of today's climate on social media is killing Facebook. There aren't enough far-left millennials left that still think that Facebook is cool to prop up the platform. All the far-lefty millennials from my generation, they were like, oh, Facebook's so cool. They've left. They've gone on to other things. Gen Z's not signing up for Facebook. They have YouTube pages. They may use alt tech. They probably have a Twitter handle. They're probably not on Facebook. Why would they want to be? None of their friends are. Facebook was cool, you know, back in the days before time, back when you could make bumper stickers. By the way, the first thing that I ever did online that sort of went viral was a bumper sticker on Facebook, believe it or not. One of those little squares, I think it was only like 200 by 200 pixels at the time. And you could sort of arrange them on your channel. You could put the module on. It was like when YouTube had modules for a while. You could drag them around and sort of customize your page. It wasn't like now. By the way, the pages now are actually better and more customizable than Cosmic Panda was. It's actually an improvement for those who don't know, for those, post 2012, I think it was, or 2013. Facebook, you could do that very early on. They eliminated it like a year into me using it. But I had a bumper sticker on it. I think tens of thousands of people had it on their profile. I knew it was insane, and Facebook, of course, was smaller at the time. I had no name recognition and notoriety. I wasn't Sticks Hexenhammer 666 yet. I was still just Sticks Hexenhammer. Actually, I don't even know if I was using that yet. I don't even know if I was on YouTube yet. I had Facebook before I had YouTube, believe it or not. And groups there had thousands of people using. They were fairly popular. But now Facebook's like, oh, yeah, okay, you got a page for a business. That's all you're doing. What do you do socially on there? Oh, hey, today I drank coffee. Today I went for a walk. Ooh, here's a picture of that. I'm going to put it on some other site. Today I wrote a book. Here, all 10 people that give a damn on Facebook can read it. No, I'm going to advertise it. I'll put a YouTube video up for it. I'll put it on Twitter. I'll read Minds, Gab, and all. Yeah, there'll be a video on BitChute about it. Steam it'll get a video. Maybe I'll even put it on Daily Motion before I'll do it on Facebook. What's the point? It's getting to the point where it's almost not worth the extra, roughly 60 seconds per day that I spend on actually sharing things to Facebook. It's almost not worth it. The return is so low because there are so few active users on Facebook that give a damn about anything other than using Facebook Messenger for their real life contacts, or to buy weed or, get hook up or something. Other than that, who fucking cares about Facebook? It's not fun anymore. And it's fucking hilarious. I love it. Seeing mainstream, seeing Business Insider, it pains them, I know, to write this. Facebook's basically failing. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know what he's doing. He fumbled big time. They're melting down. He's going to dump his stock. Why are you still on Facebook? Seeing that from Business Insider and the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and CNN, it is better than any sex you could have. It's the best thing ever to see his company fail. Thank goodness. That's about all. Peace out.